Welcome, food travelers. I'm Micah.
And I'm Simon.
And today we're headed to Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara is a coastal town north of Los Angeles. Some say that the town is equivalent to a Mediterranean town, but here in the US.
And for the first restaurant that we went to was called Brothy Bros. Brothy Bros is a local favorite. They're known for their brothy clams, their crab cakes, and their chowder.
Yeah, the restaurant's located on the second floor. It has a great view out towards the docks. You can see the marina and all the boats outside. It was nice, sunny, bright interior. So the waitress, she took us over to our table. Unfortunately, we couldn't get one that's exactly in the window, but as you can see, it was a pretty busy place.
And just to note here, they don't offer reservations, so make sure you get there as early as possible so that you can get your name on their waiting list.
And we ordered a few items. We first started out with some drinks and then some appetizers. I did enjoy these ciders. If you are familiar with Seattle, there is a company called Seattle Cider Company, and this, I would say, is their Santa Barbara equivalent. Nice, not too dry, and a nice light sweetness to the cider.
Yeah, the ciders were really good. I agree there, Simon. I really enjoyed those ciders as well.
And what were the two dishes we ordered for our appetizers, Micah?
Yeah, we had the crab cakes, and we also had the crab cakes chowder that you had, and also the local oysters.
The chowder was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Being from the Pacific Northwest, we do have our chowder up here, and this was actually a very good version.
I unfortunately did not have the chowder, but I really did enjoy those oysters. And as you can see here, we have the oysters. They were really sweet. They're really fresh. Everything is local here. The next dish that we had was the Brothy clams. This Brothy clams is something that I've had in the past when I came to Santa Barbara. I thought the Brothy clams were pretty good. I like how clear the broth is and how much flavor there was. They do have the extra broth in a cup, so you can soak in those clams into the broth, or actually just drink the broth on the side. They also offer bread for every single table, so you can soak the bread into the broth and eat it that way as well.
I thought that was a very nice touch on their part to provide that extra broth on the side, which very many places they actually don't do that. You kind of have to get those last remnants that are in the dish itself. Our next stop was Los Olivos, which is about an hour drive north of Santa Barbara.
Yeah, they're very famous for the wine tasting. If you're a wine lover, this is a great spot to head over for a weekend getaway, or even just for a week.
It's a great small town that just has a whole bunch of wine tasting lounges.
And one thing to mention is they are known particularly for their Pinot Noirs.
Our first tasting was at Saarloos and Sons.
I had a glass of Pinot Noir and also with the assortment of cupcakes.
And I had the Texas Tornado. It's a Syrah and Grenache mix.
And since I did order these cupcakes, they were assortment of flavors. There were some fruitiness ones, and there's some with caramel. With each bite, there was some cream inside. Some of them had sauce. I was a little bit disappointed with them. I thought they would have made them with wine or some sort of wine sauce. Unfortunately, they were just normal cupcakes. And for this next location, we went over to Taste of Santa Rita Hills. They're about a block down the street.
A nice thing about them is they actually sell not just their own wine, but other regional wines, winemakers around the area.
And the one that we got was, I think it was like $20 for 5 tastings. What I really liked about this wine tasting that we had was that they started us off with the lighter stuff first before they moved over to the more bold medium stuff. I really enjoyed the rosé and all the lighter flavors. One of them did taste like watermelon and roses.
I actually enjoy the reds more than I do the whites or the rosés. So the flavor wise, they tend to be too much on the light side for me, and I prefer a much bolder flavors. So I enjoyed actually the latter half of the tasting with all the more bold flavored reds. A nice touch on their part is actually they provide us with some pretzel sticks, which we ate in between each tasting so we can actually have a nice reset of our palate to taste the wine for the next offering.
And also to note here, the lady who was pouring the wines for us was really friendly. She did explain where all the different regions were. There was a map behind us pointing out where they were from and when they were grown.
Yeah, she also added something about how their grapes were grown differently and what the effect it had on the wine, even with just simple things as being somewhere a little more east versus something a little more west in the valley that the grapes were grown. After our wine expedition, we headed back to Santa Barbara and we wanted to have dinner.
And for dinner, we headed to Bibiji. This is a modern Indian cuisine.
And those who are fan of Indian foods, you know they have very many strong, bold flavors. Me personally, I really enjoy it.
For the very first dish here, we had the two different naan breads. We had a garlic and a normal one, and also with the butter chicken.
The butter chicken was very delicious. There was no spiciness at all. It was a great dish to just sop up all those sauces from it with the naan bread.
Yeah, I really enjoyed all the sauces from that chicken. I do think the garlic naan bread was my more favorite one of the two. Just by itself had a lot of flavors already.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Micah chose this for dinner, as typically we don't go to too many Indian restaurants, as I know he's not too big of a fan.
Yeah, I'm really not a huge fan of Indian food, but with this one, it did stick out to me as a modern cuisine because they do use a lot of local ingredients. Which is a big thing for me, is I love restaurants that use local ingredients in all their dishes. And also in the next dish is the main reason why I chose this restaurant was for the crispy cauliflower.
I was really glad that Micah actually chose it because this was actually one of my favorite dishes. Personally, I don't think you could even tell the difference between if it was actually fried chicken versus what it actually is, which is fried cauliflower.
Yeah, the way they crispiness, the way they fried it was done so well. Like Simon said, you can't tell if it's fried chicken or fried cauliflower. This is a great way if you have kids to make them eat their vegetables.
And there is definitely a spice to it. And as some may know, I'm not into spices that well, but in this case, I actually didn't mind, and I actually just kept eating away because it was so good.
Yeah, I think the spiciness did help incorporate all the taste into that that crispy cauliflower. Everything just came in so well together that I would highly recommend this dish to anybody if they're visiting in the area. And the dessert that we had was the lassi. I had the passion fruit, and Simon, you had the what? The mango?
Yeah, I had the mango, and I thought this was also very delicious.
And I thought my passion fruit was a little bit on the sour side. I think it might not have been the right season for it. I think I should have got mango just like you. And with each video, we always end with our notables. For this first notable, it is the Brophy Clams from Brothy Bros. I really enjoy this one. It has a warm feeling to it. Whenever you eat this dish, it's kind of like a comfort food for me. I like the fresh clams. I thought they did a really good job with the garlic, buttery broth, especially with how much broth that they provided. It was great to have the bread and also just to dip it inside and get all the flavors.
The second notable is the crispy fried cauliflower from Bibiji's. This was a wonderful dish that if you didn't know it was cauliflower, you would probably think it was boneless chicken. It has a nice spice, a nice flavor with the sesame, a dish that I would definitely recommend to anybody who's in the area. That is a must try. Our next notable is the butter chicken, a great Indian dish that showcases the spices and the flavors of India and how great it can be. Also a great dish to soak up the sauce with the naan and to enjoy every single tasty bite. Thanks for watching. We hope you come eat with us on the next episode. And don't forget, if you like what you saw, subscribe and like.
And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode. Bye!
Bye!